Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Could you hear me prior?
Could not. You could not be heard at that point.
Would have prior. Could you have heard?
Possibly just I did, maybe.
Great.
All right. Well, that'll do it for this week's show.
What's up, Eric? How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing all right. I've been to 2 baseball games since the last time we talked.
I know there was one like yesterday and one like the day before, and you keep posting pictures.
Yeah. And then my daughter
Like
took over my
care.
phone and
That
she
wasn't
started posting photos.
Do you hear what I said?
Yeah, like anyone cares. But listen, I know no one cares, and I'm okay with that. By the way, I'm Eric, and you could find me at Sinatra's Rat Pack on Twitter, and that over there is Kurt Cameron, who had a short-lived career on television.
Yeah, and the best part about that show was my best friend's name was Boner.
Which is always good, right? I mean,
which would never fly now.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's canceled. You can't do that.
Yeah, that was canceled before.
By the way, yeah, it was
around.
It was actually canceled when they were calling him Boner. Like that still wasn't good then.
Yeah, it's okay though. My dad on that show's dead.
Yeah. Well, you do like Christian movies about being left behind and stuff.
Yeah, don't make fun of me in Jars of Clay, man. We're tight.
Yeah, Jars of Clay. Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. Hey, yeah. So I went to some baseball games. It's been really cool. This is the longest period of my life that I have not been to a professional baseball game.
Yeah, well, most people don't know you had season tickets for a long time.
Yeah,
like when I met
12
you,
years. Yeah.
Yeah. When I met you and you weren't even married yet, I think you had them.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I literally had tickets when I was so poor and couldn't afford it. I somehow I justified it somehow.
And then he would bring all the food home from the garbage cans.
Well, this is also true. I mean, listen, hot dog, just because it's 2/3 eaten does not mean that it's not good cooking. You cut off the part that was chewed and you have yourself a little mini dog.
Yep. You heat it up and you go, hey, it's hot again. It's a hot again dog.
It's a hot again dog.
Dog.
It was so awesome. And what also was cool was, going to Angel Stadium all those years. I've been to many stadiums, but mainly all on the West Coast. But this is one of those rare occurrences where, as the family, as we go, it is we've all been the equal amount of times. So at Angel Stadium, I could be like, yeah, listen, I've been here, literally 3,000 times. And my kids have maybe been there 100 or 200 times. Yeah. This is one of those ones where it's like, okay, we're going to the stadium. I don't know my way around. You don't know your way around. None of us do. This is completely new for all of us. It was really cool because the stadium was only built a year and a half ago.
Yeah, it's very new. Yeah,
really, really new. So it was big. It was new. It was kind of like really spread out. It wasn't, a lot of stadiums feel cramped. Like when you're walking in the concourse, you're bumping into people, or you kind of have to walk. A lot of these newer stadiums that I've been in, they're really wide in that part of it, meaning you could just walk around and not, feel like you're going to step on someone. And in this day of social distancing and everything like that, it makes it a lot easier when the thing is freaking, you could drive like 3 buses side by side driving would fit down like the corridors.
Now I was a little intoxicated when I was at Safeco in Seattle, which is called something else now, T-Mobile Park or whatever. But when I went there, that stadium was like new within 2 years, and I felt like it was a lot wider than Angel Stadium. Angel Stadium is old. That stadium is so old.
I think it's the third oldest stadium in the American League, or even in all leagues.
What's the other ones?
The Red Sox is older.
Aren't they moving? Didn't they move to a new Fenway and just take the wall?
No, I don't think so. I think that's still a really old stadium. And I'm trying to think of the other one that's older.
Cubs are old. Wrigley.
Oh yeah, Wrigley. Wrigley had a pretty major renovation though.
Yeah, they won't ever move from there.
But they won't move. But I mean, I think that's it because the Angel Stadium was built in 1961. Most stadiums are much newer than that. So it was an old stadium, but no, it's super new. What's cool too is it has a retractable roof, which is and it's air conditioned. So obviously in the Texas heat, it'll be nice to go to a game. But so what was cool is on the first day that we went, the roof was open. It was beautiful weather. It was gorgeous outside. We went. Yesterday when we went, it was a huge storm front moving through, just bringing just buckets of rain, and tornado watches started going off everywhere. So when we were in the stadium, when we got there, we noticed that the roof was closed. And we're like, I mean, we knew it was going to rain. So we checked our phones, and our phones just started going off saying tornado warnings in the area, multiple tornado warnings. It's going to get crazy out there, folks. Like all these kind of like warnings. And so we're in there and the kids are kind of getting worried, and we're in this gigantic metal dome. Yeah. And I'm like, guys, we're probably in one of the safest spots. Like, this thing is brand new built. It's all steel girders. It's enclosed. Like if something were to hit, this would probably be where you would want to be, right? Because who knows what could happen to a house. This is a gigantic steel girder building that's brand new. So, but they were all getting worried about it, and they were looking at like satellite photos and stuff while we were at the game. But it was just kind of cool to have the roof closed. It was air conditioned. It was nice.
Safeco is like that where they have the retractable roof, but when it's closed, and this is Seattle too, where it rains all the damn time. So why even have anything retractable that opens? Just close the goddamn room. But
just close it all the time.
but they have it so it closes and it covers the whole field, but it's not like all the way enclosed, so you're inside. You're still kind of outside. There's like no walls.
So there's like an opening on the sides. Then that's interesting. I didn't know that about that location, which is kind of a cool concept, I guess, right?
They'll freeze your ass off, and when the games are cold and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a cool concept. It's a badass stadium, dude. We should make sure we take a trip up there, go see one of their games for sure.
Yeah, I would love to. So what else is neat about, if you've never been out to this area, is all the stadium, everything's in one spot. So within about a 2-block radius, I mean, just cramped together. In fact, in some instances, they even share parking lots. There is the gigantic Dallas Cowboy Stadium. I mean, the thing is just massive.
Yeah, it's
freaking huge. It's ginormous. You got the Dallas Cowboy Stadium. You have the new Globe Life Field, which is where the Rangers play, and we went last night. Then across the street from that, you have Globe Life Stadium, which was where they used to play up until a year ago, which is still fully intact. In fact, my daughter's high school played a football game there. Then on the other corner, you have their version of Magic Mountain, Six Flags over Texas. And then across from that, you have like a Raging Waters type of water park.
So COVID was rampant is what you're saying?
No, but like, everything is right here. And they all, there's even an esports arena where they hold like those big competitions where a bunch of nerds play video games. Yeah.
Have you been to Orlando?
I have not at all. No.
Disney is a lot like that with Universal. It's all like in this one part of Orlando, like a hotel circle kind of thing, like San Diego type thing. So it's kind of similar. But I want to come back to the whole stadium, tornado, hurricane, like all wanting to die. I don't know if you remember, but back in December of 2020, the brand new, or 2010, the brand new Metrodome in Minnesota had some snow on it. And if you can hear this, that is the roof collapsing, and right there, all the snow on the roof came through.
Oh man, and that's what? That's actually a good call, good callback on that one, because you're right. That was like, wasn't that thing literally built like months earlier? I mean, it was like super brand new, right?
Yeah, the all the stuff, the lights and stuff, and the scaffolding that were under the ceiling all went away, and like air conditioners broke and exploded. There was tons of snow that blew up onto the field and stuff. Now, granted, it did break in the middle, and that's where usually the players are. So you would have been.
Yeah, I mean, all the players would have died, but we would have been fine. Which
But
is, I
I
think,
want
the
you to
important
show
thing.
this to your daughters.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny. You know what? I think I'll show them a little later on tonight a video of that, because I was reassuring them completely, like, guys, we're totally safe. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And then they started worrying about, well, what if the tornado hits our house while we're gone? I said, well, we'll return to some rubble, and like the dog will just be sitting there going, wasn't me. Swear to God, I didn't do it. That wasn't me.
It's going to be funny because they're probably going to be like, yeah, no, Dad, we don't believe anything you say. We Googled that and we've seen that video 30,000 times since you told us it wouldn't happen.
Are you kidding me? My kids don't know that. My kids don't know that anything happened in the world like before 2015.
That's
like,
not true.
Yeah.
Name's Audrey.
Yeah, that's true. After Audrey Hepburn, I
Yeah.
get that, and she does have some good old school knowledge about stuff. But as far as pop culture, no, she doesn't. None of them know anything. The world was invented in 2015 and earlier, so.
And it ended in 2020 for him for a while.
Yeah, it pretty much did. Yeah, a hell of a year. Speaking of, something that we talked about the last time was the Oscars, and I think you and I both predicted that it would be one of the lowest rated Oscars ever. No one was interested in any of the movies, and it was going to be held at a train station, and it was we knew it was going to be like woke, whatever, just because of everything that's gone on in the world in the last year. I have a article here that says Oscar viewership not only fell to an all-time low, it was 56% less watched than last year's episode, which was an all-time low as well. So it not only beat the all-time low, it beat the all-time low by 56%.
Yeah, that's crazy. In the 2020 with the awards for 2019, so it should have been full, but COVID had hit, right? So they didn't do them live. So people were freaking out about the world and watching, MAGA go crazy and all that stuff. So I can understand that being the lowest ratings, and I can understand this year being even worse. Did you watch any of it?
I only watched the highlights. I mean, I've always been a total Oscar. Like, I super into it. I love it.
Me too.
I really love it.
I usually win.
Yeah, and I exactly. I'm one of those ones that when they do those pools, when you go to some town, enter the Oscar. I pretty much always win. I do really well in those. I know the stuff. I watch all the movies and all that. Past couple of years, it's just, I mean, listen, they've always gone up and giving political speeches and all that.
Yes.
But I think the last, and so I get it. It comes with the territory.
Yep.
But the last couple of years, man, maybe even 3 or 4 years, it's just gone overboard. And listen, I get it. You're free to go up there and give your speech and whatever. I don't care. But I think people are turned off when you see a rich celebrity going up there screaming about how the world is unequal. It's like, yeah, it's unequal. You make a lot more than me, so give me some. Or they're up there rallying against. They spend 25 minutes thanking their lawyers and stylists and agents, and I think that turns people off because they're like, yeah, you have a team. Of course, you're beautiful, Scarlett Johansson. You have 47 people who help you look beautiful. You have a personal chef, a personal trainer, because you thank all of them. I think we've just gone overboard. I'd love to hit the reset button and go back,
which we might have done.
The glitz and glamour of Hollywood. Like, let's bring back the glitz. Think about all the times where we're having a subdued red carpet this year to honor the people in, wherever for the tsunami. It's like, you know what? No, what we watch it for is we want the woman in the beautiful dress, and we want the debonair looking guy in a tux, and we want extravagant Oscar speeches and big movies and big surprises and all that kind of stuff. And I think they've taken away so much of what it is that we like, and they've replaced it with here's a 5-minute speech from an actress who wants to tell you about what's going on in China, or or whatever.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that has to do with cancel culture.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's too afraid to say things, so they stick to the generic dumb crap. I want to thank my style. It's my mom. I want to thank Gumby. I want to thank the guy in the corner that sold me the crack. I want to thank all those people. And God, and I just think that if they don't thank God, they're gonna feel like there's somebody's gonna yell. It's like
someone's gonna yell at them. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
so
right.
I think everybody's that way, and I think a lot of celebrities like Kevin Hart did that one year because he was supposed to host something, and then they called him out, and he said, "Screw it, I'm not doing it." Then they asked him to come back, and he said, "Nope, you guys canceled me quick."
Right, and I love that he did that. And you know what else? Something I noticed that too. I was thinking along those same lines. I thought to myself, because they announced that there was going to be no host.
Yeah.
Okay, they did that last year as well. So here's what's interesting. Regina King comes out, looked beautiful, great, great job, great actress.
Awesome.
She spent, and I went back and I actually found this. I did some research for the show.
This might be what I was going to bring up.
She spent over 11 and a half minutes on camera, essentially as an MC. I went back and looked. Jimmy Kimmel, when he hosted, because those are the only numbers I could find, spent 7.5 minutes on a monologue and 8.5 minutes on his monologue. She spent more time than a person who was labeled quote unquote the host, but she was not the host. And I have a theory on that.
Okay.
My thing is, I bet you they don't want to name a host, because as soon as they do, all that's going to happen is they're going to go through and find someone's going to find an old tweet and then say, this person has to be canceled. It's the Kevin Hart rule, which is bullshit.
Agreed.
And so what happens is they're just going to say there is no host, but in reality, there really is a host. This person's not going to be very funny. They're going to be an actor or actress, and we're not going to get any of the comedy. But this way, it's a surprise. You don't know this person's coming out. They don't have time to get canceled. No one's going to comb through their tweets. And I think it's just a preventative measure. But that kind of goes to why I think the Oscars are dying as an institution.
Yeah, no, there's one other thing you're not thinking about, because I watched the actual intro to the Oscars. It's kind of the only part I watched. I went and watched the Dodgers play baseball. That's how bad they were. But the Regina King, the hosting, I agree with that. I agree that they're afraid that the stupid people in the world are going to start trying to cancel the host again. It's going to bring up more drama. It's not going to be worth it. And they're just going to be burning more bridges, because people that knew that host are not going to show up to the Grammy or the Oscars because they canceled them.
Cancel them. Right.
If you listen to the first 7 minutes of Regina King being up there, she's literally explaining, like, we're wearing masks when cameras are on, when cameras are off.
All of them were vaccinated. Everyone in that room was vaccinated. Still did this mask signaling bullshit, which is like, okay, so does the injections work or not? Because if they don't work, let us know so we keep wearing masks. If they work and everyone in that room is vaccinated, all you're doing is virtue signaling. It's not about science. It's about, like, look at me, I'm still wearing my mask.
Not to mention they tested everyone like they do. I got tested twice before I went and did one, like, background gig a couple weeks ago up in Burbank. Right. So it's nuts. But again, like, they felt they had not only not mentioned Regina King as being a host, she's an MC, but then she has to go up there and do 30 minutes of waivers. It's like, I don't want to hear the back end of a prescription commercial at the beginning of the Oscars.
The Oscars may cause drowsiness, unsettled bloating, leakage of the anus, and your eyeballs may burst.
How come we both went to that right away?
No, you know what? Yeah, I think you're 100%. Yeah, you're 100% right. That's exactly what that was. It was like legal disclaimers. It was the back of a medicine bottle, and it was boring. See, here's the thing. At the very end of the day, it's an entertainment. It's an exercise in entertainment, right? They're trying to entertain people, and that's what award shows are supposed to do. If you make it too woke and you make it filled with nothing but cancel culture, and you make it filled with preachy celebrities who make more money making one picture than all of us will make in our entire lifetimes, telling us how bad things are, people will eventually just be bored. And I think that was the key for me. It was like, the movies were boring. There was no good choices. There was no funny movie or great movie or big movie. It was all a bunch of downer movies, indie films that no one had ever seen. And it was a boring show filled with boring movies. And I think, you know what? My prediction, I think the pendulum's going to swing the other way. They're going to realize that they really need to step it up. Mm-hmm. I think a big Marvel type movie gets nominated for Best Picture.
Oh yeah.
Just to kind of throw it into, like, oh, look, guys, a Marvel movie has a chance of winning, and it gets a ton of viewers and a ton of interest. And they're going to have to do something like that, because what if it's the same bullshit again next year? And it's just like, oh my God, like 3 or 4 years in a row of this.
What about this? What about the year? So, like, let's say, what was best picture last year in 2020 for 2019? What won? Like,
was it The Shape of Water, or was it the year before?
It doesn't matter. Let's say The Shape of Water wins, which is a great example of what I'm trying to get to. Let's say The Shape of Water wins Best Picture, goes up there. Yay, I like a little. Okay, thank you so much for watching, Oscar. See you next time. Well, the next year, everybody has to come dressed as if costumes from The Shape of Water. There's a theme. They stopped doing this Hollywood glitz and glamour. Oh my God, your dress is given by who to wear once, and then here's your $1 million jewelry that you'll just take off and give back to a safe at the end of the night. Yeah. Like, dress like a fish. Well, I mean, Lady Gaga kind of already does it, but you know what I mean? Like, get a theme. Make a theme. This like, is not Game of Thrones. Like, everybody comes Game of Thrones the next year. That'd be dope, but they don't have movies.
No. Okay. Side idea. When the nominees get called, they all have to stand up, and the people who don't win. So then they announce the, no nominees are Angelica Houston, Angelina Jolie, Glenn Close, and Faye Dunaway, whatever, right? And then they all stand up, and then they say, and the winner is Angelina Jolie, and she comes up. The other people have to remain standing for the entire speech as like a punishment, and the camera keeps cutting back to them, and it's a really long speech, and they're getting tired of standing there. And then you could talk about, oh, so and so sat down before the end of the speech, and then they get like demerits, like if you sat down too early, you get like one less vote on your next picture or something like that. I think we make it, because then you could open it up to like Vegas betting odds.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could. That sounds more like a scenario like the teacher forgot to tell the other students to sit down when the other one got the award, and now they're like standing there, like kicking their feet on the ground, going, "Great, I didn't win anything. I got to stand up in front of everyone like a stupid idiot."
Or what if they released the vote totals? What if it's like, okay, the winner is Shape of Water with 479 votes, and with 477 just missing out was, whatever, Dunkirk. Like, what if they and then they even read it down to the bottom, and then finishing with only 3 votes was.
That's how they should do the presidency. All right, the winner, Joe Biden. Second place, Donald Trump. Third was Kanye. Fourth was Mickey Mouse.
And Donald Duck actually coming up behind Mickey Mouse. That's interesting. Didn't predict that.
Which was not of a conundrum, metaphor, whatever you said, coming up behind him.
So the other thing that was interesting about the show that I think a lot of people were talking about was the perplexing choice.
Can you explain what perplexing means?
Confusing.
Okay.
The perplexing choice.
Hey, look, I was perplexed.
Hey, I was perplexed. Of putting the best picture as not the last award given out. They did best picture, then best actress, then best actor. And I think I have a theory on this one too.
Okay.
They thought for sure that Chadwick Boseman was going to win for best actor. And they were going to put that at the end of the show to be like this, oh, look at this posthumous Black actor wins in a year where we're trying to go over the top with inclusion, all this kind of stuff. And I think they were planning on that being their closer, when instead it went to Anthony Hopkins, who won. And so he didn't win at all. But I think that's why they did it. But why the hell would you not put Best Picture as the final one? And I think it just goes to show that even they knew that the Best Picture nominees were boring.
Yeah, they were. Nobody knew the movies. There were 2 movies I think everybody knew. And,
I told you about The Sound of Metal because I thought it was interesting. And I saw Mank. Yeah, and I saw Mank, which I liked. I would have never not nominated for Best Picture. It was good.
I started watching Mank, but I couldn't get through it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be into that time period. Now, the interesting side note, the Chadwick Boseman role was in the movie Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Ma Rainey and others just like it can be heard on the most recent episode of Listen to This, the season finale, where she sings some inappropriate songs. Ma Rainey sang inappropriate songs back in the 20s and 30s, which I feature on the show. So there you go.
And now back to We Should Be Better at This.
But anyways, I'm kind of like going to give the Oscars one more chance. Like they have next year as like their last chance to redeem themselves, in my opinion. And no matter what your political stance is, I don't think people want to hear politics in their sports or in their entertainment.
Nope.
We understand that politics exists, and we understand that you have a voice and you're willing to share that voice. Share that voice on Twitter and Instagram. Like everyone has an opportunity to spread whatever message they want, and the people who follow you and want to follow you, they can do so. When you're giving a speech at the Oscars, or it's at halftime in a football game, you could do your Black Lives Matter or whatever stuff anytime. People watch sports and entertainment for a getaway, to escape. So when you try and like get in that too much, we're always willing to allow a little bit of it. But I think when it goes too far, people just say, guess what? I have 900 million other channels I can watch, from HBO Max to YouTube to
BYU TV, sports, where you can find Survivalist season 1 on the second to last episode with me and my family. It's called
episode like 6 or whatever. But no, you're exactly. So think about it. People now have so many choices, so many options. They have wonderful podcasts to listen to on the This Is Funner network, right. And they're gonna just be like, yeah, I'm gonna turn the channel. I'll find out who won tomorrow, and like I don't need to watch it live, and that's a death nail to awards shows. And so I think if we go too far, which I think we have. I
Yeah,
think
we
they
have.
need to totally correct it. And we need to have like a freaking awesome, you know what they need to do? They need to put the person who is in charge of the old, not the new, the old MTV movie awards in charge of the Oscars.
Right?
Like we got to have a category of like best hookup kiss and and like we got to hand out a surfboard along with the, I mean, we got to do something that's like that kicks it up a notch because it's
Best villain.
Best villain, perfect. What a great, imagine an award like best villain, and just like sometimes the villain's the best character in the entire movie. Then you could definitely see a Marvel movie winning it, or a DC movie winning it, or Disney or whatever. So
Yeah, I mean the word entertainment has expanded so much since the Oscars have started. It's going to start encompassing short films from like Instagram and stuff down the road. Like all that stuff's going to be a part of it, and it's going to be just going to grow and grow and grow. So they need to come in with some rules to tighten it up and make it so it's enjoyable at least.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. Enjoyable, I think, is the
entertaining would be nice.
Entertaining would also be nice.
What else you got?
I was going to ask you, I was thinking about this the other day. Something that used to exist back when we were younger that doesn't seem to exist anymore. And I want to know what happened to it. And that's the prank call.
Oh,
remember prank calls? You would literally call a business. I mean, think of the whole concept of Bart Simpson on the Simpsons. It was calling Moe's Tavern and is there a man to hug and kiss there? And is that a man to hug and kiss? And they'd laugh. Or I was the king of those. I would do all kinds of prank calls back in the day.
Caller ID, yo.
Yeah, but people don't prank call anymore.
Well, that's because caller ID came in.
You can star or whatever it is.
Well,
block it.
and then you could block it, but then everybody could do pound 69 and get it back, or there's all these different tricks, so it wasn't really worth it, and then it became crank anchors and all those other ones got kind of popular, and everybody's like, well, that's boring.
Yeah, but I mean, but don't you remember doing prank calls? That was like an actual thing that you would do. And I couldn't get my daughters to try it. Believe me, I've tried. I can't get my daughters to try any of that stuff. And then I talk to kids about it and they're like, what's a prank call? Like, were you calling screw with someone?
We've done it.
But like, what do you mean? Like send them a meme or send them whatever? No. Like you would literally call and ask someone if their refrigerator's running. And then when they said yes, you would say, well, you better go catch it. And then you hang up. And they go, we have no idea what that means.
I did that to Julian 2 weeks ago, that exact joke.
Really? Oh, there you go.
But
calling a member of your family doesn't count as a prank call, by the way. But that's just being cruel.
They're only going to call if they can record it. And if they can't record it, then it's not worth it, because then they can't post it on social media. If they can't post it on social media, it's not worth their time.
So you're thinking it's more of they don't do it not because no one's interested in prank calling. It's that they wouldn't do it for the sake of just enjoying it. They would do it only if they could make a name for themselves.
A benefit. They have to benefit from it. It's not for, oh, I laughed. It's for, how many hits and likes can I get?
Yeah, I do kind of miss the idea of just doing things because it makes you laugh.
Well, I mean, that was kind of like our childhood. And then they put cameras everywhere and we'd get arrested for doing the things that made us laugh. So we don't do those anymore.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I just thought about it and I thought to myself, what if I just started doing prank calls again?
You'd probably get arrested.
Like as an adult, just going, you know what? I'm going to make one prank call a week.
Probably get arrested.
Probably will.
Can you record it so I can put it on the podcast?
What, the arrest or the phone call?
Both, actually. If you could do that, the arrest would be way better if it was in video. If you could do video for the arrest, and then the audio is fine for the podcast, for the call, because it's through a phone.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of want to bring it back because I think we should get back to some of what made us happy when we were younger. And I used to make prank phone calls, and I get a blast. I'd get a total kick out of it. And I think, you know what? It's so unexpected now that I think if you did it, it would come so out of left field that you could fool people again.
I think I'm going to go have some Chef Boyardee. You're bringing back my childhood.
You're going to have some horrible American sliced cheese in the wrapper?
Cheese food.
Yeah.
It's not even cheese. It says cheese food. You ever read that?
I did not read that, but that wouldn't surprise me because there's no way that's a naturally occurring in nature kind of a thing.
No. Yeah, if you look at it, there's every sliced cheese, not every sliced cheese, but the really cheap ones like we always eat, have it says sliced cheese food, because they have to add so many other ingredients to make it stay flat and not sticky and stuff. It's really sad. But we eat them. They're good. Put them in a burrito. Wrap it up. Nice. I'll eat it.
Wrap it up and I'll eat it. Yeah, that used to be the way to make grilled cheese. And that was about all that was good for.
Yes.
Alrighty. Hey, guess what? I would like to do some SMRT.
I am too smart. I am too smart. SMRT. I mean SMART.
All right, it's that time of dumb people doing dumb things, or we should rename it the Florida Hour. So I have two. Yeah, it really is. We gotta. What would be the sound effect for Florida? What do you think that would be? Like, would it just be like a gator, like growling, or would it be like a red? I don't know how, or sound of like a hurricane hitting.
Oh
Like,
my
what
God.
would be
I don't know if
what
you
would
can
be the
encompass that.
Florida sound effect?
I'm not sure you can encompass that much stupid into one sound.
Well, I think that's your mission. I challenge you, Chris, to
Florida
find a sound effect, a series of sound effects that are indicative of what that represents Florida, and then we will vote on which one is the most Florida of the sound effects. That is your challenge.
All right.
All right.
See what I can do.
I love.
I'll
giving
call
you
my
homework.
people. They'll call your people. We'll get something scheduled.
Yeah, we'll work it out. We'll work it out. Okay, so this one I had to, of course, throw in a Florida story, and this one's just titled "Oops."
Oh no, I did it again. Nothing at all.
No, just oops. Misspelled word painted in a school zone. So, photo of the fresh paint job, and it's also called Orange County out there because they have an Orange County out there. Photos of a fresh paint job in Orange County school zone show what was supposed to be the word school incorrectly spelled SCOHOL.
Oh my God.
School.
Ugh.
The botched paint job was spotted Wednesday in the Eastwood subdivision of East Orange County, just south of Waterford Lakes. County spokesperson said it was an honest mistake and that it will be corrected. Okay, of course it was an honest mistake. If the person did it on purpose, actually that's kind of funny if someone did it on purpose.
That would be amazing if somebody
in a school zone, someone in Florida misspelled the word school.
Now, where was this? Was on the building?
This is in the, so it's you know how when you walk through a crosswalk,
Yes.
The letters are written in the ground, like stop now or right turn here, that kind of thing. The school crosswalk has the word school crosswalk in it, and they spelled school SCOHOL.
I mean, let's be honest, they're doing that job for a reason.
What are you trying to say about our men and women in the construction and highway repair fields?
But honestly, why isn't there just a big template now? Like, why can't they just put a big template down? And
See, there is
write
by
whole
letter.
word?
Yeah, there is a template, but the template is by letter, meaning that every single time they roll up to a job, they have a bunch of stencils and they bust them out, and that's how they paint them.
Yeah.
But you're right, they don't have one because I don't know, maybe they assumed that people would know how to spell very complicated words that appear on roads, like exit and right and left and like
What's funny is that was in the school zone, right?
School zone.
So they could have just looked up at the school and saw the word school on the building that was next to it and been like, oh, that's how you spell it.
Or they could have asked a passing by 4-year-old who's on their way to preschool, who would probably at that point know how to spell school.
Nah, not with COVID days. They'd probably think you're trying to kidnap them or human traffic.
This is also true, but I really like that story just because what are the odds that they misspell the word school in front of a school, which is, like you said, probably something that they didn't grab. You know that the person spray painting it was standing there going, I never quite graduated from that place right there.
Yeah, right. He's like,
Yeah.
I made it all the way to 4th grade.
4th grade. He holds up 5 fingers.
But 2 hands.
But it's 2 hands.
Only has 3 fingers.
I lost this other 2 fingers in a fireworks accident.
You heard of Beirut?
It was a gender reveal party.
Oh, it was
gosh.
a girl until the wife died. From the explosion.
Oh my God. Okay, I got one more story here. This one is titled Chainsaw Thefts and Burglary Lead to Charges and an Arrest. So here's what happens.
Good party.
Yeah, here's what happens. This takes place in Pennsylvania in Somerset County. So a man is accused of stealing chainsaws from tree trimming trucks. So essentially what he would do is these people would be working in the trees. They'd pull up, whatever job they're doing. And he would walk up to the truck and they'd be stealing chainsaws, throw it in your car, drive away. So just chainsaw. And it was to the point where it was like a county-wide issue. It was being reported on the local news. It's like this one strange thing is constantly being stolen.
Do you think somebody's really like trying to save the forest?
Yeah, like maybe I bet you they did look into environmental groups or whatever, but
they did.
Instead they looked into Nathaniel Gibbons, 31 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He was approached by a police officer while in his garage. The garage was open and he's like standing there working on stuff.
Okay.
When the police officer arrived to talk to Nathaniel Gibbons, he was in a garage surrounded by walls of chainsaws.
Oh, wow.
The officer was there to ask him if he knew anything about the thefts of all the chainsaws going around, and saw all the chainsaws dangling from all over, saw the sheer amount of them, and decided that it was time to make an arrest. Gibbons' name came up as a possible suspect when the state police checked the area, and they found out that Gibbons had been spending a lot of time on all the streets where these thefts were taking place, and people had saw a car that matched his car or whatever. So when they did a final count, this is what was in his garage. How many chainsaws were in Nathaniel Gibbons' garage?
I wish I had a timer on my little button thing over here. I need to get one of those.
How about I'll do it. That's more of like an old school clock, but whatever. So here's the thing. It had to fit in his garage. It was all invisible. So this is how many they collected from his garage. And this is what the officer was able to see. Later on in the story, it does say that they found more in his backyard, but the only number they give me in this article was how many was in his garage.
I want to say 42.
Wow, you were really close. It is 47 chainsaws in his garage, hanging and dangling. And it reminded me, do you remember that Geico commercial where all the teens are like hiding and then they go into the garage and it's like a spoof on horror movies?
They're like, why don't we get in the running car?
Yeah. And so when this is what I picture is like the guy walks up and there's just those chainsaws dangling from the ceiling and on the walls. And this guy, how do you think the conversation went? The cop comes up and goes, hey, Mr. Gibbons. That's where you come in.
Yes, sir.
I'm here to talk to you about some.
Let me get it. What's the lotion on skin? Yes, sir.
Mr. Gibbons, I'm here to talk to you about a rash of just chainsaw murders, thefts that have gone on recently. You wouldn't happen to know anything about those, would you?
Oh, no, sir. I don't know anything about any thefts of chainsaws.
I mean, like you seem to have a lot of chainsaws here, though. I mean, were you using them for anything in particular, or?
Oh, no, those aren't chainsaws. Those are just decorations. Those are just things that I have.
So you use chainsaws as kind of a decor. I mean, are you like a lumberjack or anything, or?
No, my name's Jim. Not Jack.
A lumberjack. I'm sorry, I'm a police officer and I should keep my composure, but that was a funny joke. I'm curious, why would you need more than one chainsaw? It seems one chainsaw would be enough to do the job that you're looking for.
Well, sir, if you know how chainsaws work, most of the time they don't. So I just have a couple for backup.
So yeah, this guy apparently had 47 chainsaws dangling in his garage.
46 backups.
Exactly. And the cop walks up and goes, well, this will be the easiest arrest I've ever made. Like, I think I found my suspect.
Can you imagine if he's like, the cop knocks on the door. Hey, can I ask you a question? Sure. Yeah. Do you know anything about chainsaws? But he can't see any of them yet. And then he goes, no, I don't know what you're talking about. You want to come in and have some lemonade? And he like brings them in the room's full of them.
And then here's the thing, 47 is what was in the garage. In the article, it does say that they found more in the backyard. But he has since been arrested and charged with multiple thefts and grand theft and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to go out and say that a person who is that into chainsaws might be someone that you want to keep your eye on when you do eventually let him out of jail, because it strikes me as someone who is that into chainsaws might also be the same type of person that likes to use chainsaws on people.
Well, let's just hope they don't find my chainsaw graveyard. It's full of people and chainsaws.
It puts the lotion in the basket. Anyway, so that is all I have. That wraps up SMRT. And as far as I'm concerned, that wraps up this entire week's podcast.
It does. Please go to thisisfunner.com. Check out all the other podcast and online content. Listen to this season finale for season 4. It just came out on Monday. It's called Wow, It's Inappropriate, and it's about some fun stuff. Honestly, just listen to that episode. You won't have to listen to any other episode of that whole podcast. If you listen, no, I'm just kidding. Listen to all the episodes.
Hey, listen to them all.
No, but that's a really fun episode. Also have an April Fool's episode up there, and Star Wars coming soon.
Coming soon. Yeah, very exciting. Exciting about that. And everyone give it a listen, and please rate and subscribe to this podcast. Tell a friend, maybe even tell two if you have two friends.
Okay, hold on. Hey, Eric, by the way, listen to this podcast. Okay, I told one. All right.
Hey, Chris, can you do me a favor and listen to the podcast on the This Is Funner Network?
Okay, cool. Well, there's two. So I guess we covered. All right, cool.
Okay, good. Woo. That was good. Hey, that just doubled our listenership. Okay.
Yeah,
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
Catch you later.